Guys, I found this Twitter account that has a bunch of leaked emails from famous CEOs. The emails got leaked by their employees, and some of these emails are kind of wild, so I wanted to show them to you and see what you thought. Okay, let me see the first one. So this first one is from Elon Musk. Subject line, honest thoughts. And he says, guys, I've had enough. This is the final straw. Which I love, because like I've definitely been in a meeting before where like this is what I wanted to say. Like everybody was like on my nerves and I'm like, final straw, that's it. I think we've all been in a meeting before like this. Maybe we didn't say it, but like that was how you felt. So I'm here for the sentiment to start. It's a little like unhinged. I think that like when you start a work email this unhinged, it gives off I don't have control of my emotions, but it's Elon Musk. So like we already know to expect man baby here. So guys, I've had enough. This is the final straw. Either you go do something on your own and continue with OpenAI as a nonprofit, or I will no longer fund OpenAI until you've made a firm commitment to stay, or I'm just being a fool who is essentially providing free funding for you to create a startup. Discussions are over. Actually, I'm not mad at this email. I don't know if you know the context and story about this, but in 2017, OpenAI started thinking about becoming a for-profit. They started as a nonprofit to make sure they were focused on the good of humanity, and then they were thinking about switching to a for-profit. And so at this time, Elon Musk had already invested like $1 billion in funding into the nonprofit. Imagine that you invested a bunch of money or donated a bunch of money into a nonprofit, and they were like, psych, actually we're a for-profit now. You probably would send the email mad like this too. So he's essentially saying like, y'all need to like stay on track with the original mission. Now, is this the like most polished corporate email? No. Like I think when you start with this is the final straw, discussions are over, it's maybe giving a little I'm stressed out. But like, I don't know, I'm not mad at it given that like it's an important conversation that he wants people to have. Sometimes I wish I could send work emails like this and be a little bit more direct too. So I'm not mad at it. The comments on Twitter that are replying to this leaked email are pretty funny. Some people are like, who shares this openly? Like you just like blurted out what you wanted to say. Others are like, I appreciate that he like put his foot down and like said something directly. And I don't know if you know how this story goes, but actually they do not listen to him. He leaves the board and they end up creating a for-profit arm to do exactly what they were trying to do. So they ended up kind of proceeding with this plan that Elon is mad about. And someone in the comments says they should have changed the name from OpenAI to closed AI because they were just gonna be a closed for-profit anyway. Elon Musk is definitely a hot mess, but I do like that he didn't use a whole bunch of corporate jargon in this email. There's this viral video that I like that has like these beatboxers using a bunch of buzzwords, like corporate buzzwords in their beatbox. Like we need to circle back, we need leverage, all these like words that mean absolutely nothing in corporate emails. Think outside that box. He could have written this email with a bunch of that, just like a bunch of corporate jargon that makes no sense. Okay, this is a piece of paper that Elizabeth Holmes has written her schedule on. So it says 4 a.m., rise and thank God most things are not logical. I agree with that. So, okay, thus far I'm on the same page. Wash face and change. Meditate and clear mind. Workout. Wow, these are small little increments. It's giving a little like OCD. I'm like stressed out already. 6 to drive to Theranos. The is maybe Theranos. We go straight from 6:45 a.m. to lunch. Salad with tofu. Then we go straight to dinner. Wow. Okay, so like this is like a morning schedule here, and then there's nothing in between. Straight to lunch and straight to dinner. I don't know. This feels like a sad commentary to me on like what happens when we get caught up in the TikTok hype of like what your morning schedule should be, and like you get up at 4 a.m. and you like grind, and like there's all these TikTok bros like telling you that all you gotta do is like perfect your morning routine and you will be successful, because she planned only her morning and like not the rest of the day at all other than lunch and dinner. And then at the bottom, she's got these like, I don't know, they're like affirmations. I do everything I say word for word, which is like clearly not true because she was involved in a scam. I'm never a minute late. I show no excitement. What? I'm calm, direct, pointed. That's stressing me out. No excitement at all. Next one, I'm all about business in all caps. It's getting a little crazy. I am not impulsive. I do not react. I'm always proactive. I know the outcome of every encounter. How? How are you gonna know the outcome of every encounter? This is like, it's getting like more delulu as we go on. I know the outcome of that one bothers me so much. Like, how are you gonna know the outcome of every encounter? That's a weird expectation to set for yourself. Okay, I don't hesitate, and she goes on. The last one, I'm fully present. I like that one. That's a good one to aspire to. As much as I feel like this is wild and crazy, I also write little like affirmations and things for myself in my phone. Like if I opened up my phone right now, I would probably have things that read equally as crazy if you just like happened to pull. Actually, let me look. Hold on. As a creative person, like I got all kinds of half-baked notes in here. People like to watch me play. Oh, this is an affirmation for myself because sometimes I feel nervous posting on social media, and so like I'm trying to remind myself that I can just be like playful and fun and free. Okay, here's one I really like. Stop fucking resisting joy. This is me yelling at myself to enjoy my life, right? So like Elizabeth Holmes, her notes are kind of crazy, but like if you go look at your own notebook or your own phone and see your own notes, like I don't know, some of them might look crazy too. Okay. The next one we've got from Mark Zuckerberg. This is an email, subject line rumor. I assume this isn't true, but can you confirm? And then there's a link to an article. If you are thinking about having WhatsApp join another company, we'd of course love to talk at this price range and are almost certainly a much better fit than Google. Separately, we should hang out sometime soon. I never got back to you about last weekend. No, you don't get to do that. I never got back to you last weekend since I was busy getting ready for the home announcement. But let me know if you're around for the next couple of weekends. Okay, this is like a business email and then like a thirst email at the bottom. It's like a mix, a whole mashup. So apparently there's an article that goes out saying that WhatsApp is going to sell themselves to Google. And of course we know that the story goes that Facebook was the one who bought WhatsApp. And so he's like, wait, hold on, I'm gonna lose this opportunity to buy the company. And then he gets really thirsty at the bottom. This is like, I don't know, like if a girl is messaging you and you're like, I'm not really that interested, but then you see that girl dating your friend and then like you're instantly interested. That's what's like happening here. So it's giving really thirsty. I don't know, it's too thirsty for me. Like separately, we should hang out sometime soon. It's giving like nerd bro with not a lot of friends and like not really sure how to like use their social intelligence, but just like trying, not really effectively. We all love a thirsty billionaire, but I want to know, would you be open to this let's hang out move that he does at the end? Even though he had just been ignoring your messages prior, now he wants to like hang out and be friends. Would you go for this or no? I don't know. I might go for it if the check was big enough. Okay, this is a framework for a meeting, it looks like. So it says, like, this is like something you're supposed to fill out. And I think this is from Amazon. Amazon is notorious for like really requiring people to be very prepared for a meeting, which is not bad. We've all been in a meeting before where like no one was prepared and it's absolutely the worst thing. So this is like the form you're supposed to fill out to prepare for the meeting. So you put in like the subject of the meeting, the duration, all the attendees, the context of the meeting. I love this. Is it decision-based meeting? Is it to inform or is it to get input? Like, what the are we doing here? Is what he's saying here, which is like needed for a lot of meetings. A lot of my meetings don't have this. We need this. If it's decision-based, what is the decision? What the hell are we talking about in this meeting? And who needs to make the decision? And is it a one-way door decision? Like, can it go back? Can we like change our mind on the decision? If yes, why? One-way door is if you can't change your mind. The two-way door is like you can change your mind. I love this. I'm gonna start using this with my team, to be honest. A lot of times you go into a meeting and like nobody knows what they're actually there to do. And my friend actually just taught me this framework. It's like 4 V's. It's like view, vote, veto, and voice. So like everybody in the meeting gets one of those roles. So either you're there to view, like you're not there talking, or you're there to veto, like maybe that's like the boss and they're like, no, actually we're not gonna go that way. I know that the meeting's going this way, we need to go that way. Or you're there to like actually vote and to like, we're gonna like maybe come up with what we think is a consensus. Or you're there to like voice and give your opinion, but not necessarily more than one of those things. Like a lot of times like your boss will come in and they say that they're there just to view, but then they start like bossing everybody around and they actually were there to veto. Like, but it wasn't clear what they were there for, because if you knew that they were there to veto, you would have like run the meeting a little bit differently. So I really like that framework, and it kind of fits in here. It's like, who's making the decision? Are we here to make a decision, or are we just chatting? One of my pet peeves is when I walk into a meeting and it's like a brainstorming meeting. Like, we're just here to like chat and like hang out and talk. That drives me nuts, particularly when like no one has brought any ideas. If everybody brings an idea, then we can like work with them, but if no one's brought any ideas, it's not a brainstorming meeting. It ends up being like a Tara's ideas. Tara, please come up with the ideas. So I really like that this is clear. I'm gonna use this with my team. And this is actually like a really light version of what Amazon usually does, because Amazon is known for making all of their employees write like long multi-page briefs explaining like and preparing for the meeting. So this is like a mini version. I like this. Okay. So we've got a letter, or maybe it's an email from Sam Bankman-Fried. I find it really fascinating to stroll through uncanny valleys. This is a poem, not an email. Okay, most people do not. Most people hate it. What is he talking about? I often forget this fact and fail to collapse wave functions that span the valley for way too long. This sounds like a poem that a man recently wrote to me, because I actually don't mind the tension of the valley, even though intellectually that almost everyone is their worst self in them. Does this make sense to you? I don't, maybe it's going over my head. I'm not sophisticated enough. Okay, so here's an approximate list of what matters. Be aligned and always do whatever you think is best for the company. But he wrote this like 10 times over. I'm really curious if he like retyped it over and over, or if he copied and pasted. Because it's more crazy if he retyped it than if he copied and pasted it. Which one you think he did? Next, be nice and fair to people, which is written 5 times, not 10 times. It's like kind of like, maybe it's like a weighted system. It's like a weighted algorithm. Okay, work hard. Working hard is 5 times as well. And then there's 3 that are only 1 time, which maybe he like cares less about them because they're 1 time. Being smart, having good instincts, communicating well. I'm trying to imagine myself like writing a note to myself like this with like the same thing over and over. It's a little weird. It's giving like, you know, you got in trouble in elementary school and like they made you like write over and over again on the chalkboard, like I will behave in class. That's what it's giving. Everything else is just the details. And then the last line, so what's the relationship between Alameda and Medulo? I don't know the whole details on the Sam Bankman-Fried story. Maybe y'all know and you can tell me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure like these are 2 companies that got like caught up in the sauce and the drama of the scandal that he had. So I actually think this email got used as evidence in the lawsuit against him because of this last line. It's kind of like incriminating because like, you know, that there's a funny business relationship between the companies that aren't supposed to be investing in each other and giving each other money to take a bunch of people's money. I think that's what's happening here. So it's like a poem. It's like the chalkboard affirmations from when you get in trouble, and then scam all mixed in one email. What do you think? Now this came from that viral Twitter account that I was telling you about, and the comments are really hilarious. There's actually a really famous CEO in there, and his comment is like way too much Adderall, which I love. It's definitely giving way too much Adderall. Someone else said that maybe number 23 was too low on the list, communicating well. He should have done that better and communicated what he was doing with people's money. So those are some of the funny emails that I found on that Twitter account. For me, I'm kind of neutral, right? Like I feel like some of them are really crazy. They're giving like, I took a bunch of Adderall. Some of them are like, oh no, I see where you were going and what you were trying to do with that email. I know like as a CEO, it's really hard to write like clear, direct, coherent emails that like uplift everybody and get everybody in the same train, but still like tell exactly what you're trying to say. So I have a little bit of empathy for some of these emails, but these went viral for a reason. So I want to know, what did you think about the emails? Which one really irritated you the most? And which one are you like, no, actually that was a good email?